I think retirement and the whole idea of retiring in general is a complete scam. I'm Kyle, and I believe every single one of us was called to live a very intentional life. And I'm simply a guide that helps you build financial frameworks around banking, tough money habits, and generational wealth. And one of the most compelling ideas that I've come across in my wealth building journey, in this grand adventure of life, getting to work with a lot of amazing mentors and great leaders, was this idea of creating abundance in all areas of your life. And I am so convinced that this is what people actually want in their life. They don't want what banks and Wall Street have sold us, which is a retirement strategy 30 years from now in our 60s and 70s. I don't think that was the purpose of us being here. Now, one of the ways we've been able to articulate this is by identifying 5 key areas of life that are all interconnected. And the goal here is to create as much excellence or abundance in all of these areas, with the spiritual component of life being the most important. That's going to be your mission. Why are you here? What is your purpose here? Can we lead with a spiritual conversation? And I think that is the most important, because every other area of life will rally around your life's mission and your sole purpose. And so when I look at this, someone that's going to wake up every day and enjoy every second of every day never wants to retire. Why would you want to retire or stop living the ideal life? And in order to do that, we have to have abundance spiritually, in our personal life, family, with financials, and with your occupation. And this is why I'm so against the idea of retirement. That used to be a huge part of my plan and strategy when I was younger. I didn't really enjoy going to school when I was a young kid, and I hadn't found my purpose when in the occupation area. So working was never that thrilling for me either. And so starting a Roth IRA when I was 16 years old that my grandfather set up for me seemed like the greatest thing ever, because if I put money into it early on and invested early, I could retire in my 40s and just play golf. That was the idea that was kind of sold to me. It sounded great until I started to gain some more life experience and really think about this adventure of life and what I wanted to leave as part of my legacy. And I was having lunch with a great mentor of mine one day, and I was telling him, I said, Steve, I'm waking up every day and I'm enjoying every second of every day. And he said, you probably have abundance in multiple areas of life. And so I said, well, what do you mean by that? And he kind of described this idea to me, and I said, that's exactly what's going on. And it was so life-changing for me that this became a major part of the financial conversations that we teach now all across the country, is these 5 areas. And they're 5 interconnected areas, with the spiritual one being the most important. Now, I love teaching about financial frameworks, models, systems to help you win and control more of the money flowing through your life. That's a banking conversation. It's a whole life insurance conversation. It's a legacy conversation. But the only purpose that I believe that we should go win the money game is so you can go fund the other missions in the areas of your life. Now, what I get to do for an occupation is just that, teach people how to do that. And that's why once that clicked for me, retirement was never the strategy anymore. It changed everything I was doing financially, because I plan on working and serving people until my time is up here. And that's another thing that kind of bothered me about the whole idea of retirement. Literally, the word retire means to put out of service. And as soon as we stop serving people, collaborating, connecting, building relationships, that's a recipe for a very unfulfilling, sad, lonely life. I don't think we were put here to retire. I think we were put here to work, serve, and become better. And so the occupation area influences how I teach about finances. But the only reason we're passionate about teaching people how to win financially is so you can take the vacations with your family. You can work on the personal side of things, which would be, your physical health, your mental health. How's your relationship with yourself? Do you enjoy being who you are? How's your relationship with your spouse, with your kids? All of these areas are connected. And this has been what was so compelling about our community here, is that we get to teach this every single day. And, so don't let anyone, I would say, misdirect you from how this life should be lived. When you've got abundance or excellence in all of these areas, and make the mistake, money plays a very vital role in that, you are never going to want to buy into the idea of retirement again. And retirement accounts and waiting 30 years to use money completely fell off my investing strategy, Because what I need right now to fund the ideal life is cash flow. And I'm going to need cash flow 5 years from now, and I'm going to need it 50 years from now. And it changed the entire way I lived my life, my finances. It changed my relationship with God. It changed my relationship with myself, with my kids, with my siblings, my spouse. All the relationships that are in these 5 areas are the most important thing that I have. And so if we're focused on the right things, and maybe you're feeling a bit lost in your life right now, odds are it's because one of these 5 areas has been neglected. You could meet the wealthiest people ever. Their finances and their financial area of life is off the charts. But when you get to know them and you see their family life or other areas, you would never trade places, not in a million years, to go be that person. And it's why, if your only measure of success is more money, then that is a recipe for never winning the game. We've got to focus on other areas and developing them and growing in each of those to create the excellence or the abundance. And if you do, you will wake up and you'll enjoy every second of every day for the rest of your life, literally be able to live what we call the perfect or the ideal life. So remember, always choose truth over trends, education over products, and people over profit.